One of the best things you can develop in your lifetime is influence. It starts with your family if you have children, but it also begins in school, teaching youngsters to be persuasive, encouraging others to make the right choices, follow the right route, study the appropriate literature, and resist temptations that lead the wrong way. They should be ambassadors of good thought, positivism, virtue, and a firm basis for the future. Ambassadors of purpose, goals, citizenship, community, and teamwork. If children learn early not simply to be themselves, but to utilize their influence positively, that's the key. By helping others, we help ourselves. There's an ancient phrase, if you try to save your life, you will lose it. But if you invest your life, that's the finest way to save and double it many times over. You respect me by being here, allowing me to pour a bit of my life into yours. Here's a profound thought. Investing life into life has the capacity to create miracles. Investing life into life creates a new baby, but investing life into life through ideas, knowledge, connections, and influence may develop enterprises, corporations, businesses, or movements. Things that benefit far more people than simply those immediately engaged. This is a fantastic chance for me. It's why I'm here to make another investment, and I do it happily. Yes, flying travel is tough. Standing in lines, packing luggage, checking into hotels, it's exhausting. Traveling globally is hard labor, but for me, lecturing is easy. I call it work, so I get paid, but this is the easy part. Getting here is the actual struggle. It requires effort, perseverance, and positive thinking to achieve where you need to be. But now that I'm here, having the ability to invest in others for a few days is a special luxury. That should be one of your goals. To be valuable enough to invest in someone else's life. Start with your children if you're married, then invest in your marriage and friendships. These partnerships are opportunities to assist and uplift each other. A company enterprise works the same manner. Bill Bailey and I have been involved in several projects, and happily they prospered, influencing many lives. But throughout the years, something even bigger happened. We continued investing in one another. When I have a brilliant idea, I call him. If he reads an amazing book, he shares it with me. This ongoing investment in each other keeps the momentum going, assuring continuous growth and success. Invest in each other, and as we stroll through the farm region of Kentucky, we invest in one another. We wander along the beaches of California, and he helped me develop a small cassette titled, How to Kick the Worry Habit. Bill Bailey played a crucial role in bringing that together. We'd walk the beach, and he had this habit of grasping your arm while talking. He'd hold onto my arm until it grew sore. Then we'd exchange sides so he could grab the other one while we continued our walk and conversation. It was a chance to contribute to each other. What I shared with him, he shared with others, and what he shared with me, I passed on to you and people throughout the world. This act of sharing and making a contribution is a sort of leadership, being an impact on someone's life. You never know how far that impact may travel. So I'm very thrilled to be here, and I want to thank everyone who has helped. We're going to have lunch in just a few minutes, but first, let's delve into goal planning. If you're ready, say, I'm ready. Ready? Does anyone already have 5 pages of notes from this weekend session? Wonderful. I once met a man who showed me notes he had taken 23 years ago. He added, Mr. R, I wrote these down 23 years ago, and now I want you to sign them. So I finally did. He informed me, I've used these notes to build my business, and my personal life has been fantastic. He had been just 18 years old when he took them. Amazing! Now, make this note. You never know who is in your audience. He was 18, just a teenager. But let's not say just a teenager. He was a youngster with potential. You never know who out there will make an effect on the world or accomplish something spectacular. That's why you must always be true and try your best. No matter who you're speaking to, you never know who's listening. Years ago, in my audience in Orange County, stood a young Tony Robbins, just 17 years old. The next day, he went to work with me, joined one of my offices, and stayed for 3.5 years. By age 20, he was running an office, helping to promote my seminars. Incredible! At roughly the same time, I was conducting a class in Los Angeles. In the audience was a 19-year-old called Mark Hughes. He eventually built an outstanding company called Herbalife. Think about it. Mark Hughes at 19, Tony Robbins at 17, and the man whose notes I signed was 18. You really never know who's listening, poised at the proper moment. I hope this weekend was the proper time for you. After this, you never have to be the same again, unless you choose to be. You can go back to the same old routine. But if this weekend has touched you in any way through the voices and words exchanged, then it has been valuable. Write this down. It takes more than one voice to guide us. It takes diverse views, varied experiences, and a range of messages to help us see clearly, make decisions, and evaluate our life. It may be extremely valuable when you sum it all up. And I'm simply delighted to be part of this collective endeavor with wonderful voices for the weekend. Now, let's speak about setting goals. When I first met Earl, not long after we met, he asked me, "Mr. Rand, maybe here's one of the best ways I can help you." He said, "Let me see your current list of goals, and let's go over them together." He continued, "I have the experience, so let's do it." I informed him, "I don't have a list." He answered, "Wow, you don't have a list of your goals?" I answered, "No." He then remarked, "Well, if you don't have a list of your goals, I can probably guess your bank balance within a few hundred." And of course he did. I thought to myself, isn't that something? Then I asked him, "You mean if I had a list of goals, it would change my bank balance?" He said, "Drastically." That certainly drew my attention. All those years ago, I learned how to make goals. So, today, we want to talk about that. We'll start before lunch and end when we return, but let's take some notes now on creating goals. The promise of the future is a great force. We look back for experience, but we must look forward for inspiration. What gives us the motivation to get up in the morning, do our jobs, learn new skills, and develop into all we can be is the promise of the future. And this force can be so tremendous that it can help us conquer any adversary or challenge. Here's a crucial phrase. Reasons make all the difference in how your life turns out. Reasons determine your appetite and passion for taking on challenges, executing your job, and becoming successful. Mr. Shah remarked, "If you have enough reasons, you can do the most astounding things. You can go through the worst days, and you can overcome the most astounding challenges." He informed me, "If you don't have a list of goals, Mr. Rand, it's probably because you don't have enough reasons." He responded, "I'm convinced that since I met you, you have adequate brains and good health, and you have all those things working for you. But what you need to focus on now is building adequate arguments looking into the future." Now, make these notes. We are mostly affected by 5 things. The first is our environment. This encompasses the political environment, the social environment, the physical environment. Anything that surrounds us impacts us. The city, the nation, the countryside, the village, the office, and the people. We are continually shaped by our reactions and judgments, and much of it depends on the surroundings. For our physical surroundings, we all need to pay attention to it. Contribute anything you can. It's a little planet. Remember those first photographs from space when we looked back at Earth? It felt so frail and little. We thought, wow, so many people live there. How can that be? We must take care of it because right now it's the only planet we have. Everything we can. My mama taught me those simple things that stick with you. Things like pick up your trash. I remember once I grabbed a toothpick in a calf, and after taking off the cellophane, I dropped it on the floor. My mama said, no, you wouldn't do that at home. I thought, well, what's the difference? She added, just put it in your pocket, and when you get home, throw it in the trash. It seemed like such a minor thing, but that's exactly what made the difference. The habit. The habit is what shapes us, largely for ourselves. Sure, it makes a modest contribution, like avoiding leaving trash behind, but ultimately, it gives you that great feeling of self-worth because you're building healthy habits. Take the practice of turning off the lights as you leave your hotel room. It's a tiny action, but imagine if everyone did it. The energy savings would mount up. Someone might say, well, the hotel benefits. It doesn't matter who benefits. The true benefit is that you are a person with good habits, behaviors that not only improve your skills, but also make you feel good about who you are. So, sometimes people question, why bother? And I always answer, why not? If it's so easy to do, why not do it? It makes a contribution, and who knows what the entire impact could be if everyone did it. But even if others don't, it still makes us better people. It helps us feel better about ourselves, and if I know you do it, it makes me feel better about you. And if you know I do it, I think it helps you feel better about myself. One time, I did a short TV series called Things My Mother Taught Me. It was a fascinating project. One thing Mother told me was always to eat before you go to a feast, so you won't appear hungry. That way, you can do what's really important, socialize. She said, don't show up merely to make up for a missed dinner by cramming your face. That won't allow you time to mingle. Great tip. There were dozens of minor lessons. Mom also advised, sit up straight. She didn't simply want me to sit up properly, shoulders back, chin down, and eyes forward. She had a picture of me having good posture, looking people in the eye, and feeling good about myself. That way, people would feel good about me too. It's the simple things, and our parents' vision of who they wanted us to be often offered us those crucial advice. It's like the book Everything I Needed to Know I learned in kindergarten. Simple things truly do matter. In various countries, respect is demonstrated in distinctive ways. When I go to Mexico, for example, people don't just say, hello, Billy. They say, hello, Mr. Billy Graham. It's a cultural respect I greatly value. When I first came to the South, as a kid, I was trained to say, yes, Mom, and yes, sir. It's the little things that stick with you and shape who you are. You know, where I was reared, we didn't really do that much, but I believe the more the South embraced it, the more it got on. Now, I'm starting to hear it in many more areas, not just in the South. The yes, ma'am, yes, sir, things my mother taught me. Those are lessons we can all learn. They help make our lives better, make the planet better, and help people feel good about themselves and about us. It's incredible. The environment, too. Whatever little thing you can think of that brings you pride and joy, that makes a positive impact. No matter how small, it matters. What you do benefits the environment and the people. But here's the biggest reason it benefits you. I want to be the greatest I can possibly be at communicating a message of kindness. Therefore, I constantly improving on my talents to be the best I can. Now, let's speak about setting goals. First, we're affected by the environment. Then, we're touched by occurrences. Some events touch all of us. Some influence the world regionally, nationally, or by state or town. But some events influence us all. How many of you remember the Cuban Missile Crisis? Go ahead, accept it. It's okay, you're among friends here. Quite a few of you, right? The Cuban Missile Crisis was an event that touched the entire world. It was unbelievable. The U.S. administration woke up one day and found out that Khrushchev had missiles headed to Cuba, and the launch sites were already lined up. So President Kennedy calls Khrushchev and says, "Nikita, you cannot place your missiles in Cuba." Keep in mind, Kennedy had only been president for a short period, thus this was a vital moment for the young president. Khrushchev says, "Young Kennedy, this is Nikita Khrushchev from Russia, and I assure you, sir, we will place our missiles wherever we please." At this point, people started building bomb shelters in their backyards. Tensions were mounting. Kennedy made another call, "Mr. Chairman, you cannot place your missiles just 90 miles from Florida. This is impossible." But Khrushchev responds, "Young President, I must inform you, the ships are already on their way." Now, nerves are really starting to fray. The following call, Kennedy responds, "Mr. Khrushchev, I assure you, this is a very serious matter, and we cannot allow your ships to continue." Khrushchev replies, "Mr. Kennedy, you must reconsider. If you tamper with our ships, it will mean war." Finally, Kennedy says, "Mr. Khrushchev, I must assure you, and this is for your serious consideration, if it comes to war, Russia will cease to exist. There will be no more Russia." The last call came from Dean Rusk, the Secretary of State at the time. He phrased it extremely well. Kennedy and Khrushchev were staring at each other, and fortunately, Khrushchev blinked. He decided to grab his missiles and go home. And that's how the missile crisis ended. But it was a tough period. We were all rehearsing exercises in school, getting under desks, hiding in corners. Those were challenging times. So, absolutely, events influence us all.